Hello, everyone. My name is Corbin Williams, and this is the first ever episode of the Partisan Patriot podcast. We will talk about everything from politics to religion. That's about it. We're not going to talk about everything, just the important parts. We got a crazy show for you guys today. Let's see. Destiny lost his mind on Pierce Morgan's panel. We're going to look at that a little bit. Crazy. And then we've got Jimmy Kimmel is apparently being let go from ABC for a given amount of time, an indefinite amount of time. We'll go over what that means exactly. All of that and a little more on today's episode. Roll the intro. A lot of liberal news outlets are saying that this is a big federal problem, that the Constitution is being violated, and that he shouldn't lose his license. But what I really want to focus in on is the fact that almost every liberal media outlet is saying that it's right here. The right doesn't care about free speech. I don't know. I think the right cares more about speech than the left. I'll just say that. I mean, I don't want to come off as too conservative, but I will say when George Floyd got killed, BLM, peaceful protesting. Charlie Kirk is killed, and real peaceful protest happens. People gather in San Antonio, and they pray, and they host sermons, and we build monuments. Democrats are blaming Republicans, Republicans are blaming Democrats. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy didn't read this book as much as he should have. Consequently, things like this happen. I'll compare Candace Owens to Kimmel real quick. Candace Owens, employed for a company. The company didn't like what she was saying. They terminated her. Then she goes crazy. Plain and simple. She left the Daily Wire. She lost everything that she had to lose. I mean, you lose everything that you have to lose. You can say whatever you want now. And that's what Candace Owens did. Jimmy Kimmel can do the exact same thing. And this isn't a rare occurrence. This happened to Kanye West. This happened to Nick Fuentes. This happened to Alex Jones. This happened to Pierce Morgan. They tried to silence these people, and then they just became more conservative. So when you deplatform a political individual, they will get powerful. Donald Trump was kicked off of Twitter. Elon Musk buys Twitter. Donald Trump, does he get back on? I don't think he's been back on X or Twitter. He made his own social media platform, Truth Social. So this could be a bad thing for conservatives if Jimmy Kimmel now realizes that he's got nothing to lose. He's got no reason to suppress his own deepest thoughts and political opinions. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts on how this could be bad for conservatives, or just really society in general. I mean, we don't need more radical leftism, but that's a topic for another day. I don't remember all these liberal outlets being so upset when NBC terminated Shane Gillis's contract. Y'all remember that? Shane Gillis, the funny guy on SNL who was like starting to lean more conservative. He even said it in his own comedy shows on Netflix. It's like, no one was mad when he got terminated, but everyone's pissed off when it happens to Jimmy Kimmel. Really? He was way funnier than Kimmel. Seriously. That's not just me saying it. The ratings will tell you that too. But I digress. It doesn't really matter. What he said wasn't that bad. I've heard worse. Like I said, we'll wrap back around to that later with the whole Destiny Hassan Piker thing. But yeah, I just don't remember. I don't remember these liberal outlets being upset when Shane Gillis got terminated. Where Kimmel was wrong, right? And this is the reason his show has been canceled indefinitely, which, by the way, doesn't mean forever. A lot of people are saying it means forever, or it might as well mean forever. Is the fact that what he was saying was just incorrect. You know, I mean, the MAGA movement is trying to figure out any way this guy is not one of them. It's like,
he had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
I don't know a MAGA member with a trans roommate, girlfriend, boyfriend. I mean, I don't want to be offensive here, but really? Really, Kimmel? It's like, is this what we're doing now? Is it we're just saying it's the right or the left, like, regardless of any information? Any information. I mean, this guy jumped the gun almost as hard as the FBI did when they said they got the guy. Wrong guy, by the way.
See how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
Now, I will say, Kimmel was hilarious in this joke. Charlie Kirk's wife comes out and says Charlie and Trump were best friends. So much to the point that Charlie was like another one of Trump's own sons. Well, when Donald Trump is asked, how are you holding up this week? How are you holding up this week, Mr. President? He goes, well, I'm quite fine, actually. You look over there. They're building the new ballroom over there. We've been trying to do it for 250 years. It's like, what? Your supposed best friend, your supposed son that you took under your wing has just been murdered brutally in front of the nation. Okay? And you're worried about a ballroom. Okay, so obviously there's something here. Whether it's a joke, or whether someone was lying, or whether Donald Trump is just not feeling compassionate at the moment, or the guy really likes ballrooms. I don't know. Whatever. So Jimmy Kimmel makes the joke about, that's not the grief you would expect from a best friend. That's the grief of a child and a goldfish. And he's absolutely right. That is not a bad joke. That is a very tame joke. Do I think he should have been terminated? No. But what he was saying was wrong. So, that's Jimmy Kimmel. Let's move on. Destiny said some wild stuff concerning Charlie Kirk's assassination. One of the most crazy things, I have it here. Conservatives need to fear for their lives when they go out to public events. Or in other words, we need to be afraid of being killed.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods.
As conservatives, when we go out to public events. That's crazy. That's crazy. No one should worry for their life when it comes to their First Amendment. It's your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression, your freedom of religion, among others. But particularly, when it pertains to this instant, if I say something that offends you, and you believe that gives you the right to kill me publicly, you are crazy. Period. If anybody offends you and you think it's okay to murder them, especially in the United States where we have the First Amendment, that is crazy. And I would hope that the general consensus of the nation is the same when it comes to this. And I hope that most people would agree with me. But quite unfortunately, we have YouTubers like Destiny or Hassan Piker who will say, let the streets run red with the blood of conservatives. That's wild. Or we need to be afraid of losing our lives when we go out to public events. That's wild. And you want to talk about Jimmy Kimmel's First Amendment being violated. But okay, Jimmy Kimmel says something that the right or left either doesn't like, and his contract gets terminated. Charlie Kirk says something, or Donald Trump says something that the left considers hateful speech or inciting violence, and they believe they have the right to shoot them, to murder them in front of the nation. We cannot be serious about this First Amendment argument. I can't believe it, first of all. Obviously, following his initial remarks to Charlie Kirk's assassination, Destiny goes on to Piers Morgan's panel to, speak with people from the other side, and then after saying that conservatives should fear for their lives, you would think he's like, well, I didn't, actually mean that. You shouldn't fear for your life. Like I said a minute ago, like I would hope the general consensus of the nation is such that you don't need to kill someone that you disagree with. But no, he doubles down and he says that Democrats and leftists, he says leftists and Democrats have been turning down the heat for nearly a decade.
Down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm.
As if Charlie Kirk wasn't just assassinated. And I have more notes here. As if Austin Metcalf wasn't murdered. As if Black Lives Matter riots didn't happen. As if the murder of Irina Zarutska didn't happen on a public train. All of these are public, by the way. We have here and I have more. Thomas Matthew Crooks, the Minneapolis shooter who shot up the Catholic Christian school. We've got the attempt on Trump's life in Florida. Ryan Wesley Ruth, Luigi Mangione. The left has been turning down the heat for nearly a decade. Yeah, right. Are we serious? When was the last time you heard about a conservative mass shooting? Kenosha? Kyle Rittenhouse? Right? Where he was taken to a court that was very heavily against him and won? Because the evidence was so overwhelming to the fact that he did not commit a crime? I have more. I could keep going. When it comes to the leftists having strong prejudice against the right, so much to the fact of literally killing us. It's just crazy. It's crazy that people have these political opinions. Mind you, the Epstein files are still out there. Like, I'm not saying there's a good guy or a bad guy in this situation. Well, Destiny's the bad guy, but not because he's politically left. There shouldn't be a bad guy, left or right. We should all come together and look at the macro political scheme that's happening right now when it comes to a rigged election in 2016 or a rigged election in 2020. No one said anything about 2024, but you'll have Trump digging up dirt on Obama for the next decade, trying to look at how we can put this guy in jail. Like, bro, leave Obama alone. People are throwing, I'm going to have to blur this, on the WNBA court. We've got the war in Gaza, where people are just exploding. We've got political assassinations like Charlie Kirk. And among all of it, hiding behind all of the commotion that is caused by the media over these events, are the Epstein files. When do we get to hear about these? Never. There's a bigger enemy than simply the right and the left. I would refer to that as micropolitics. there's a bigger enemy. And this is when we need to open our eyes to macro politics. And we need to grab our Bibles, and we need to know who the enemy is. The enemy is watching us look left and right, blaming each other for deaths, for terrorism, for inciting violence. It's all coming from the same people. It's all coming from the same evil, and this book will tell you all about it. Don't read news articles. Read this book. Seriously. There's a bigger enemy than the right or the left. There's a bigger enemy than Jeff Epstein. So, bit of a shorter episode. We're not going to go live just yet. We're trying to build a following before we start doing that. You know, give me some time to get better at this whole thing. But, you know, we don't have an outro quite yet. So, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Corbin Williams, and this is the Partisan Patriot Podcast. Thank you.